the ANC in Limpopo, the branches there have threatened to take legal action against the party should it continue with its provincial conference without dealing with disputes. The ANC in Peter Mokaba, where the majority of the disputes are lodged, they will hold a media briefing this morning, and this as calls mount for it to be disbanded before the provincial conference, which is scheduled for this Friday. And that's where we find our reporter, Pelane, who is in Polokwane, and he joins us live now. Pelane, good morning to you. You were in Gauteng just at the weekend and stuck at a conference of the ANC Ekurhuleni region, and at the heart of the disputes there, it had to do with what the delegates there said were ghost delegates, or should we say branches that really could not qualify. As a result, we have a leadership that has been announced, but there are quarantined votes that could potentially sway this particular outcome to the other side. What are the issues where you are?
Early here in Limpopo, I mean, it was smooth sailing for the African National Congress for the last 3-4 months or so, where there were preparations going underway. The Provincial Executive Committee very much confident that on the 3rd of June, the beginning of the conference will be there, and someone from the National Executive Committee will be there to address the opening remarks. As things stand currently, there are lodged disputes which are with the National Dispute Resolution Committee, and as things stand, a lot of them say that they have not been resolved at this stage. Hence, we've been reporting about a letter that we have seen from Gwebu attorneys already forwarded to the top 6 officials, that is led by President Cyril Ramaphosa of the African National Congress, instructing them that they must come through and deal with their disputes as a matter of agency, at least before the provincial conference, because they're of a view that their branches could either be requalified, or their branches they could be able to go and reconvene and elect a new delegates different from the ones who are currently there. There are a lot of claims that the Peter Mokaba region went and conducted its regional conference in December without following proper protocol as far as the branch elections is concerned, and that is the bone contentions of the matters, and that is what we're going to be going to the Peter Mokaba region later on today to understand exactly what had happened with the dispute resolutions from the regional perspective, what had happened in the province, and as well ultimately at the National Dispute Resolution Committee. Because if those disputes are not dealt with, they do have a ripple effect come Friday. On Friday, when the province is supposed to start, there could be challenges of about credentials and registrations that we've seen in Ekurhuleni, as you've rightfully put it, because delegates in particular from other lobby groups would want their delegates and members to be part of the conference so that they can be able to vote in their favor when elections time come. But in that regard, there will be a lot of contestation as far as the registration and credentials is concerned. It will not be the first time we've seen it in Eastern Cape. That particular credentials item took about 2 days to even exhaust. So here in Limpopo, we are not really expecting much of a difference, but a contestation on the issue around credentials, and that should be concluded at least before the conference starts on Friday morning at around 10 o'clock.
Pelane, it comes as no surprise if indeed in Peter Mokaba there could be those who might want to contest leadership positions, even though they are mired in controversy here and there. Simply put, if there are issues around corruption, are there any such people, any such pretenders to the throne who might have skeletons in their closet?
Well, skeletons which are in public. You do know that there's a lot of reports as far as the lobby group that is, of course, led by Denim Caesar, who have since withdrawn from the race to become the provincial secretariat of the African National Congress. Here, he was on the slate that is led by Chipustan Matavata, who is the chairperson, is looking for a 3rd term, and the deputy being Florence Radzilani. You do know that Florence Radzilani, about 3 years ago, she joined Denim Caesar in stepping aside because because there were allegations of VBS which were, of course, mounted against her, saying that she had, at the time, irregularly, benefited from the VBS scandal when the bank in itself was coming through to become defunct. And of course, she was not formally charged then, and hence you've seen her coming back, and now currently she is contesting to become the deputy chairperson, retain her chairpersonship. So when Stelma Tabata is looking for a third term, Florence Radzilani is looking for a second term, and of course, yes, there are those talks about her involvement in VBS, but rightfully said, a lot of people will say that she has not been charged, and therefore she has every right to go and contest for that particular position. Denim Caesar was contesting for the secretariat position, and at this very instance, we do know that he has since withdrawn, and all in favor of Ruben Madaje, a former youth leaguer in the Vembe region, who will now be contesting that particular secretariat position. Denim Caesar was forced to withdraw because he is charged. So with the recent, adjustment to the step-aside resolution, any person, one person who is charged and is before a court of law cannot, go and contest a position of power within the African National Congress. So there is those people in itself that you've seen that there is allegations of corruption that have been mounted against them, but they are currently, of course, contesting those particular leadership positions, but they have not been formally charged, and that has been their contestation that if there is anything wrong that they've done, then they should be in a position to be charged, and only when they are charged, then they'll go and answer to a court of law. On the other side, we have Dixon Masemola, a very good friend to the current chairperson, and now currently turned, of course, a villain. They are currently on loggerheads for that particular position of the chairpersonship, and we have Pule Shai, the regional chairperson of Mopani, that is the Norman Mashabane region in particular, who is looking to become the deputy chairperson, and there is Soviet El-Khanyani looking to retain his secretariat position. Very important that the Soviet El-Khanyani coming through to say yesterday to Newzroom Afrika that he is very confident that all delegates, all contenders to the positions of power feel that they have done enough to canvass, and they all feel that they will emerge come the Friday conference.
Pelane Phakgadi live for us in Polokwane. Thank you very much for that update.